everyone, today's going to be another tutorial, and as you might be able to guess from the pet on my screen, it's going to be about making your own wireframe pets. This is bandwidth here, and I made bandwidth when I learned how to do this myself. Before I realized how to do this, I thought that the way to make a wireframe pet was potentially to meticulously organize lots of tiny little ad balls and then connect them with lines, which would be an insanely painstaking experience, I suspect. And before that, I actually remember the very first time I ever saw a wireframe pet. It was just a photograph of one. I hadn't seen it in motion or in game, so I didn't really realize that it was truly something you could see through. Like, you can see that obviously as bandwidth moves around, if I rotate her here, you can see that you can truly see through her. She's not just a bunch of lines, but if you take a photo, then it looks like she could be white, just have white balls with a texture on them. So that's actually what I thought that wireframe pets were a really long time ago. I think the first time I ever saw one as a kid. And when I learned how to do this, I was so excited. So I'm going to stop rambling and I am going to show you how to do it. Now, I am going to quickly say that I have a written tutorial on this already on my website Shadowfinder. I do suggest going and having a look there if you like written tutorials. I have a few up there that might be of interest under hexing, and I also have a few other things up there under other and FAQ, which might be worthwhile if you're looking for information on how to do something. All my videos are linked under videos, obviously, and also all the downloads that I feature in my videos on Hexing with Silverfish end up in downloads on this website. So if you're looking for any of those downloads and you're wondering where they are, because I have been asked a few times, that's where to look. And the product of this tutorial will also be put on Shadowfinder under downloads. So have a look there if you are trying to find those. Okay. I am going to use this tutorial just to show you some things because I don't want to have to go through every single one of them in this video. The first thing to keep in mind is that we're going to be working with is line render mode and circle render mode. If you look in a .pet file, so not a breed file but a .pet file, you will see circle render mode with a 0 underneath it and line render mode with a 0 underneath it. That is the default state, and that is what you'll find in all the original breeds if you have a look. But there's also 3 additional options that you can put under those headings. And you can put them in there in any combination. It doesn't matter. And those are -1, 1, and 2. So if you put -1 in, they will not render. So for example, if you put -1 under circle render mode, which is the balls, how the balls render, then you won't be able to see the balls, you'll only see the lines. And vice versa, if you put -1 under the lines, and you won't be able to see the lines, but you'll see the balls. If you put -1 under both, you'll have an invisible pet. So hopefully you understand how that works. If I quickly scroll down here, I do have examples of some of the combinations you could do. So if you put -1 under line render mode, it disappears the lines. And then we have 1 and 2, which are the 2 I'm going to show you today, because I think they're the most fun to use to make interesting hexes out of. And 1 creates this flat look, and 2 is how you get an actual wireframe. I am now going to go and create a very basic hex, and I will see you after that is done. Here's the hex I've created for this tutorial. As you can see, it's very simple. If you watch the sped up video of me making it, then you probably noticed that I basically just created Adbol's ears, and I made some small adjustments to the lines and the Adbols that exist in the file. I omitted some things, I omitted some lines especially. I deleted some lines, sorry, especially. And the reason I did that is because I really wanted to simplify it so that it doesn't look as busy and chaotic once I convert it into a wireframe pet. I also off camera went and changed the color of the whiskers, and I also changed the iris size just to smaller. Have a look at the file. Already opened it up here, so lines or from the adult. You don't have to make adjustments to the kitten to do this. It'll just automatically do the kitten as well. And what you're going to immediately notice is that unlike in the pet file, like this, there is no circle render mode or line render mode in a breed file. You have to add them yourself. You can put those headings in anywhere, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to put them up here at the top. You put a square bracket and just type in line render mode and circle render mode. And you don't need to put both of them in. You can just put one in if you want to only change one of them. It doesn't matter. So the default right now is 0. So we have our headings in now, and I'm going to put 1 in under both of them and show you what that looks like first of all. As you can see, it creates this very flat, untextured look with very smooth lines everywhere. And this cat does have its eyelids shut. So when you do this, for some reason, pets come out with their eyelids almost constantly shut, but they can actually open them. I'm not going to wait for it to do it because it might take a long time. I'm just going to show you the picture I have here. Right here, you can see what it looks like when they do open their eyes. It's a little bit freaky, but yeah, that's what it looks like. Okay, we're now gonna go and make this into a wireframe. And the way to do that is just instead of 1, we make both of these 2. And remember, you can do this in any combination, so you could keep one of them as 1 and make the other one 2. It doesn't matter. And there you go. Now my Hexie is a wireframe. If you look carefully, you might notice that my Hex actually still has paw prints. And that's because paintballs actually still show on Wireframe Pets. So you can do some quite fun stuff. Another fun thing, if I adopt this pet, and we go over to the clothes closet, is that actually any Adbol clothing item you put on them also goes to wireframe. So they take on whatever render mode which is really cute, I think, really fun. Whatever render mode they use, the clothing item will use as well, because the clothing item is basically an extension of the pet. See that? I don't know what happens if you add clothes. Oh, the clothes, yeah, so I think that has a paintball on it, and the paintball shows. Paintballs show, but the actual clothing just disappears. So you just get the pocket of the pants, but not the pants themselves. Now, some questions that are frequently asked. People always want to know, can you exclude certain body parts from this effect? No, unfortunately you can't. So for example, the eyes on my washi here on bandwidth, those were made by putting paintballs in over the entire eyeball, and then I actually added lots and lots of tiny ad balls based off the iris so that I could create lots of concentric circles so that it would be really dark in the middle like that and look like an actual eye. You can't mix render modes with each other. So there is quite a major limitation to all of this, which is a bit of a shame. I think it would be really amazing if we could select which parts to render a certain way, but unfortunately we can't. Still, there's lots and lots you can do, and I certainly have many ideas of how to use paintballs in combination with these render modes, but unfortunately I haven't gotten around to doing it yet. If you want to check out some other awesome hexes that use this technique, then I can definitely recommend having a look at Queenie's carbonated drink kitties, which were made for the advent calendar last year. And as you can see, they are super creative and they use this effect combined with paintballs, and they just look awesome. And then Bunny doesn't have this up on her archive, but she made this tribute basically to Queenie's Hex for the Hex Idol competition, and they're also really, really cool looking and incredibly creative, and I just love how they came out. Really, really nice. So anyway, now you know how to do that. Hopefully that's inspired you to go off and make your own. Please do comment below and tell me what you've made. Show me what you've made, because I love seeing things that people have created. Especially if you've used my tutorials, it's so nice to see that they are helping people. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!